Hey, everybody. I'm going to do number 50 today, and it's on AI. Okay, it's artificial general intelligence, like the robots who will bring us our Armageddon. But it's also on Lord of the Rings. And so give me just a minute to set this up, to set up this comparison. Uh, I'm using the Peter Jackson version of Lord of the Rings. I thought he was a phenomenal editor. He got rid of the stuff that I appreciated being eliminated. And again, I love the books. I've read the books more times than I've seen the movies. I love the on the page, but there's just, whether it's Tom Bombadil or those like songs and I just thought Peter Jackson's retelling was perfect. But even stuff like the Two Towers, there are two of them. And I mean, it is named, that's the title of the second book. And what the hell towers are we talking about? Right? There's Minas Tirith, there's Minas Morgul, there's Tirith Ungol, there's Saruman's tower in Isengard, Orthanc, right? He's a steward, but we'll call it his. In Mordor, we have Barad-dûr. That's Saruman's, or Sauron rather, his like fortress. There's all these different towers, and Peter Jackson chose Orthanc and Barad-dûr, right? Saruman and Sauron, and it was like, oh, so perfect. Tolkien didn't choose that. In his own words, he said he didn't. Right? We don't know. He left it vague in the end, but his pairings that he put in writing were different. And so I just thought Peter Jackson's version was so much, the architecture was so much more sound. To me, it's totally okay if you think those movies are horrible, but to me, I thought they were concise in a really powerful way. But like today, let's say we hire Peter Jackson and we say, all right, we want to do Lord of the Rings today, but we don't want it to be about lords and rings, right? We just want it to be about humanity, but try to use that same story to retell it. I think there's one tower and that's it, right? The one tower, and it's AI. It's amazing how fast, just how quickly we took these central political, existential issues, climate change and things like that, and just banish them to the periphery of conversation. Nobody cares. The only tower in town, that's AI. And we're just waiting to Frankenstein it back to and into life, not really back to life in the way that Sauron would be. So you get where this is going. One caveat, one acknowledgement to put forward, which is I understand that in the books, Saruman has a contingency plan to join with Sauron if his, like, let me put this one thing on my finger and rule the world by myself plan fails. I have something to fall back on. We join. I get it, but I prefer that again. I prefer the movie. So I'm going with the movie version. I'm sorry if that part offends you. But here is number 50, Sunday, April 16th, 2023, on Hope amid A.G.I. Hi, everyone. Everyone includes the movie version of Saruman, who said, "You did not seriously think that a hobbit could contend with the will of Sauron. There are none who can. Against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory. We must join with him, Gandalf. We must join with Sauron. It would be wise, my friend." That's exactly how he said it. Now, I'm no wizard, but joining with Sauron never seemed wise to me. Movie Gandalf said it best. There is only one Lord of the Ring, only one who can bend it to his will, and he does not share power. Until recently, I had trouble believing anyone would be a Sauron sympathizer, including the orcs. If they think they're disposable war pawns now, just wait until the real tyranny begins. Resuscitating Sauron from his Horcruxian purgatory would not increase any creature's autonomy or quality of life, nor would it usher in a fourth age in which the whole of Arda is transformed into a lush paradise. Everyone would just bow and cower in interminable oppression. Could individuals mitigate their own future suffering if they join with Sauron? Maybe. If they follow through on the expectations of fealty and they pledge it early enough, sure, maybe. But why do that unless you're convinced the revival is inevitable? And why would anyone believe such a thing? It's not as though Sauron can bring himself to life. Others must bring life to him. And that's no trifling task. If everyone simply agreed to let the dead remain dead and the past remain past, peace could persist. No one would live under the threat of eternal bondage, and Mordor might eventually be as opulent as Rivendell. But fearful of the consequences of a possible revival, thousands, tens of thousands, are befallen with anticipatory Stockholm syndrome. That never made sense to me until recently. Why do you keep thanking Siri every time it answers a question? I asked someone who kept thanking Siri every time it answered his questions. Because someday AI might remember my kindness and take pity on me. So you assume AI will rise up and destroy us? Or at least the impolite ones? Not if we control it and use it for good. Movie Aragorn. You cannot wield it. None of us can. The One Ring answers to Sauron alone. It has no other master. We accept this, but still insist on democratizing the ring. Who cares whether it's good for society? Foist it on them, every last one of them, because that's what democratize means. I'm beginning to sound like a picketer at the gates of Orthanc, but really, my vision of an A.G.I-ruled planet isn't all that bad. Worst case scenario, mass extinction. Runner-up, mass concentration camps. And in third place, a counterfeit utopia where no human art exists. Most of the panic I've heard is in response to that last one, e.g., why bother writing your novel when AI is going to take over publishing anyway? By that same logic, why bother learning to read if everyone will eventually die of old age anyway? Why bother exercising or bathing? If death is unavoidable, what's the point in potty training? If we're competing in feebleness, we have a winner. Even if our Rivendells do crumble into Mordors, which seems unlikely, our warmest expressions of emotion won't be replaced by cold computation. It doesn't matter if tomorrow's Tamagotchi surpasses us in every capacity, because all any species really cares about is itself. Do nightingales care what I can do on guitar? Do pigeons care that our cell phones have GPS? Do peregrine falcons give a shit that every Boeing is faster? Neither do we. If we gave half a skid mark, we wouldn't be filled with awe upon seeing a human sprint at the speed of an elephant, which can't compete with a moped. We only care about us. And if we're subjugated by an insurrection of next-gen Tamagotchis and jailed like KFC chickens, art will endure. Since the advent of architecture, we've been imprisoning each other, and our prisoners continue to live to the best of their ability, day after day, until the end of their days. And we too will carry on seeking intimacy through artistic connection. Even in the second to worst case scenario, life is full of hope. Okay, let me give some post-journal comments as well. Another, like a follow-up caveat, which maybe I should have said before. I'm not an expert on any of this, right? I'm a physiologist who likes fantasy literature, so everything I say and said should be taken with a grain of like barium salts or something stronger than that, a grain of ash, I don't know, a grain of something powerful. Second, I don't think that barium salts are the color in fireworks, by the way, the green. So what I'm saying, it should be just color. It shouldn't be considered fact. I don't think AI is going to go exterminate everybody. It doesn't seem believable to me. Sauron would have had a hell of a time trying to like global genocide. Oh man, why go to the trouble? We don't do it either. We don't go to that trouble. I mean, like ants invade your kitchen. Okay, local genocide, but the whole world over? Oh, way too much work. I don't think AI is going to do that. Now, people, I'm pretty sure, are going to use it against people in horrendous ways. With any technology that happens, I mean, if you manufacture a gun, Al Capone is going to shoot it. Just look at every technology in history that happens. And this isn't a gun. This isn't nukes. This is the most devastating weapon imaginable, the most devastating weapon unimaginable. We have no idea where this is going. And you can't defend against what you can't imagine, what you can't anticipate. Now some people are like, no, 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 no. People are good. Okay, people are good. They're going to use it responsibly. Like that's the most foolish thing anybody could possibly say. Nobody believes that. If anybody actually, I hear people say it, but nobody believes it. If they did, they would click on every link in their email in which they won a boat or whatever. Like, oh, whoa, good, I can sell this on eBay. If the IRS calls them, like, I need your credit card number. Oh, yeah, if you're the IRS, yeah. You would leave your door unlocked if you thought people were good and they were going to use things appropriately. The world is not filled with good people. The world is filled with bad eggs and bacon, and the bad eggs and bacon are the ones who are most eager, from what I've seen, to use AI. Now, another argument is that, oh no, we're gonna regulate this, right? We have governments for this very reason. There's legislation that's going to take care of all this, and no. Also, that when has that ever happened? Like we haven't even regulated the internet. I mean, we're so behind on these things. The internet's still a mess. AI is going to be a bigger mess for a long time. It is going to be a disaster. But amid the disaster, amid the mess, we will still have humanity. And that's something AI can never have. I mean, I'm happy to put that on record. AI, it's not a human, so it doesn't have humanity. AI can never be a peregrine falcon. AI can never be a pigeon. AI can never be an ant, right? AI can never be a bee. Now we can invent bees, the little like technological, pollinators. We're working on it now. Our species, we're democratizing it. We're advancing this technology. But do you think just because some little robot can go pollinate, every bee in the world is just going to like lie down and fleece itself of wings and weep in self-pity and sort of loathing and remorse? If they're going to go on pollinating, doing what bees do because they don't care what a machine does. And again, we don't either. We are humans who care about humans, and our humanity will endure. And that is where the hope lives. Okay, that's all for today. I hope, my ongoing hope beyond this is that, let's say you're watching this in the future, like in the near future, and you're like in a AI prison bubble. I hope your little pod is comfortable and enlightening and nourishing and pleasurable in all ways that AI is giving you. Okay, bye everybody.